Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we've had a problem. We've had a main beam unable.
You're under main beam control. Okay, stand by. We're looking.
Hi there, I am Lexi with RikiLeaks, and we have our co-star, you're over here, Jeff Memora. How are you?
Super blessed. I am honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with us. First of all, I want to say this is like, we have done so many of these full moons. I want to give us a pat on the back. We're at like 8 or 9 full moons at this point, and every single month I look forward. Actually, that's a lie. I do not look forward to the full moon. It is a hard week of the month. But we always get together and you always share such wonderful information that even is new to me. And we're going to cover a couple things in this full moon episode. It's going to be a special, an extravaganza, because this full moon, the Hunter full moon in October that we're currently in, and then last full moon are a little weird because they lasted for 3 full days. And today we're filming this. It's the last day of the full moon because it really felt like it punched us coming out of left field. So we're getting everything together. We're going to cover addiction in today's episode right now. And then shortly after, we're going to cover all the materials that we use in the entire detox process that are more readily available for people to grab in a last minute type of scenario, because we're coming up on the cold season, we're coming up on flu season, and regardless if the Rona was around or not, we would still have to deal with these parasites that come out this time of year and get everyone sick. So Jeff, let's start off this conversation with probably the most triggering, the most difficult conversation that comes to detox, and that is going to be that of addiction. And I really quickly want to just cover my experience with addiction. It has basically always been a part of my life that I have fallen back onto something. Early on, it was caffeine and sugar. I would probably say caffeine more than anything. And right when I turned 18, I found that nicotine outlet. And I got my energy from nicotine. That's also a really big, one of the biggest things I've learned from addiction is, it's funny, you take things to get energy mainly. And for me, that was nicotine, caffeine. It turned into prescription pills, and that led into an Adderall little addiction that was very, very hard to, that was probably my most difficult addiction to put down, was the Adderall. That was when I truly felt like a black night of the soul, and just, it was very, very difficult to get rid of that. I was a smoker on and off for like 10 years, but if I was off, I was like almost as addicted as nicotine patches as I was actually smoking cigarettes. So nicotine is heck. I've been all around the place. Now I am probably at a point where I would say sugar and a sticky little substance that many think is just a non-addictive, wonderful plant that has no repercussions whatsoever, that is now legal in many states, is going to be the marijuana plant and cannabis. And there's a lot of debate back and forth when people go, oh, well, the plant, if it hadn't been genetically modified, is way better than what it is today and what any dispensaries can sell in a drug, which is cannabis. And even though I'm at a point now in my life where I'm like, oh my goodness, at least I'm not a smoker, at least I'm not a drinker, at least I'm not on all these bad things that I have done in the past. And I think this happens to a lot of people. At least I just like my sugar and I'm not giving into the alcohol, but it's literally feeding the same parasite is what I have realized over these many years. And detox is always a huge thing for recovering addicts. So I wanted to get your breakdown, your protocol when you're dealing with these types of patients, basically addiction recovery. What is Jeff Memora's go-to way?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say certain things that's not too popular, okay? But it's important for me to set the record straight, okay? I have about 3 decades in mental health, 20 years working with insane criminals, dealing with addicts, thousands of cases, including friends, families, and myself. I was a functional alcoholic since I was 11 years old. You know, I didn't get to be a master healer, master teacher overnight. I was dying because of all those addictions and what I put myself through since I was a child. And in the process of me healing myself, I had spiritual awakenings over and over again, many of them. And that's what got me here. So addiction is going to be a big part of my transformation teaching. Is beyond healing. What people thinking about addiction is, oh, you're addicted to this thing, No. Let's say people thinking, oh, I smoke weed, it's fine. To me, it depends where you at in your spiritual evolution. To me, it's not fine because weed is a suppressant. It is very parasitic in terms of energetic, even for Mother Earth, because it strips every single thing out of Earth that is actually nutrition, full of elements. That's why he has all that healing stuff. I measure hundreds of cannabis different compounds, and 99.99, they all have negative energies. Now, the only 1% that have positive energies are the ones that have a good intention to put back into Mother Earth, because it's such a taking, take, sell, so I could make money. And what's that money for? You know, you see what I'm saying? So what most important is not even the compound. It's not about, oh, it's the plant, it's the Mother Earth. It's not, what's the intention? Because most of the shit that they cut it with is really bad. The chemicals in the weed, because I'm a master in creating custom protocol to detox. They detox horrifically out of just weed addiction. It's almost as bad as like they're trying to detox chemo. I'm not kidding.
No, I do hear that. And I laughed my little rear off because my entire 20s, you always had that one friend going, oh, weed's not addictive, but they can't put it down. And now I am on my 4th year of the awakening, and that has been my crutch because, like I said, before this, it went from caffeine and working at Starbucks and burning my adrenals to going to college, going into the college drugs and burning my adrenals to be able to study the next day, and then going into the working sales place drugs and burning my adrenals. And then you got a prescription version of what you might get at the club, and it's okay now, and it's really not. And that's when my life was going, like, I hit my Saturn return. I realized what was going on behind the scenes, and I just like cold turkeyed a lot of things. And wow. I think it is very important to say, I did start my early heavy metal and parasite detoxes in 2017, and that is what made it so much easier to finally quit. And I don't even drink. I'm not like, I get excited to have like one drink when I go out, and I'll have a drink every now and then, rarely, but it's not what it used to be. And it used to be you put $100 aside for going out this weekend. And if you're going to go to the Renaissance Fair, you're going to be drinking. Like, it was every aspect of my life. There was a different, possible demon that just wanted you to take over your life. And this came in the form of substances. And we don't call any of this substance abuse. It's kind of just like normal to have 3, 4, or 5 cups of coffee a day. And to me, that's no different than some really, really bad stuff, because you have taught me how to clear and like reset my adrenals. And there is no better feeling than having like perfectly reset adrenals and having like a complete intake of minerals. Like I would have that high any day over anything I've ever tried it before. So please, Master Jeff, help all the people in need.
So here's what I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah.
Weed is a suppressant. It has healing properties. It has we all know, but there are plenty of other healing properties and compounds that you already know. I've no medical claims. I have tons of like diabetes, diabetic neuropathy, stroke, and this and that. Now, but no matter how you're going to cut it, cannabis is a suppressant. If you're trying to do true healing, you have to not suppress. You have to conduct more energy. And you can't do both at the same time. Okay, that's why I use the crystal patches first, minerals, and the carbon-60 to express. There you go. That's better there. You could actually feel, there you go. She shifted it just now.
Carbon-60, it's not an inhaler, it's albuterol. It's like an inhaler.
It's let me say it in the right term.
Okay.
It's aerosolized nano C60. Okay. Immune booster, anti, you know what, C word, and all retroviruses, no medical claim. But anyways, so going back, so you need to know there is a suppressant and there is a stimulant, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whichever that people addicted to, like when they're trying to numb your pain, like I was trying to numb my pain, I use suppressant like alcohol, right?
Yeah.
It's just to suppress stuff. Again, you can't really heal because you suppress stuff. You're not allowing the body to really heal. You just suppress the expression of your nervous system. You're not reducing inflammation that's causing the pain.
Yeah.
You're just numbing the nervous system so you don't feel the pain. That's big difference. I'm a master in pain relief and teaching people to become pain relief specialists. What you do in pain, you actually increase more nerve conduction, more energy, but you have to reroute the energy flow to make it more coherent. Increase biocoherence locally, increase biocoherence in your whole body and different aspects of your body, okay? So that's one. Two, you understand if people are addicted to the upper, why do you need to be an upper, right? Caffeine and this and that, most people have adrenal burnout, either that or they're depressed.
Yeah.
Lack of energy, right? Or it could be just parasites. All in all, whatever what we chose to do, I don't want people that's listening and watching this thinking like, oh, you guys are not addicts anymore, so you're better than us, this and that, because there's this AA and NA victim-y, professional victim type of feel. You know, they are addicted. If you're listening to me here, if you're still preaching AA and NA, you're still addicted to that thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's your teddy bear. This is out of love. Okay, let go of the teddy bear. Okay.
May I speak on that?
So you are not recovering. There's no such thing as recovering. Is whether you recovered, whether you heal and transform, you are not. You are healing.
Mm-hmm.
So you are never addicted to outside substance. There's no such thing as substance abuse.
Mm-hmm.
You are addicted to the internal trigger that is being triggered or triggering by the outside substance. The outside substance could change. Started, let's say, from porn, sex, drugs, gambling. You change the substance and thinking I'm not an alcoholic anymore because I'm not drinking and I'm going to AA. And then you're still
now you're addicted to AA
and having all this, really negative, meaningless sex that's actually creating all this drama, this and that create more shit. And okay,
you get more parasites the more people you have sex with.
Yeah. And then you switch from one to another. Oh, I'm healthy now. But then
Mhm.
I know people that's healthy and they turn out to be a workout-aholic that have to work out hours every day. So how do we get into transforming your quote unquote addiction? Number one, you need to understand, you need to accept what are the internal triggers. Most people are from traumas. Okay.
How do you find them?
I usually do an assessment.
Yeah.
I
And
usually
this
do
is
an
going to be the
assessment
most
or
triggering
just
assessment ever.
yeah. Or
Yes.
just, or just try to just let go of all this actual attachment of what you claim yourself to be. Instead of like, I am blah, 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 just like all these meetings, right? All this.
Yes, and I want to repeat that. So if you don't understand the format of an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting or a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, first of all, it's ran through the church. Second of all, and that's important when you understand like Rome's grasp on humanity. So then you go in and it has to be daily because repetition, I'm doing this whole dig onto witches. Join us, Journey to Truth, where RikiLeaks will be talking about witches and witchcraft in today's society. There's great stuff that we've learned like herbs. And then there's some crazy black magic stuff that's happening. And basically Aleister Crowley made this witchcraft formula called AA, and it's repetitive and it's daily, and it has to do with affirmations, and you repeat something, I am, and then the church wants you to say the worst thing in the world that you're trying not to be ever. So you're never going to be healed the way that the accepted court appointed way for humans to recover is no recovery ever. Every single day at 5 p.m., you are going to say your name and you're going to affirm it that you are an alcoholic. No, no. This is what the courts do. This is the whole court system. This goes into the mafia infiltration, into the what has become of the private industrial prison system. And they are pumping out.
Yeah.
They are pumping out these zombies that are controlled by these substances, and if not controlled by the substances, by these little groups, which are still little private clubs. And the men are still separated from the women, which is very coven-like and very like secret club-like. And it's still affirming daily that you're an alcoholic, and that's not true. You can heal it. You kill the bugs that want the alcohol, because what happens to those alcoholics is they turn their life to sugar, because those bugs in them that need to eat, that causes their diabetes, which they all have, goes into now sugar. They can't get their sugar from the alcohol. Now they have to get it from sweets and candy and blah, blah, blah. So that's where I hit really hard. If I haven't done a cleanse, like around 3 months, I cannot get enough sugar. And that is my pitfall. So help me.
So here's the thing. Yeah. There's a verse in the Bible says regarding when there's a person asking God, what is God? I am. What is Yahweh? What does Yahweh means?
I don't know.
It's basically say, I am that I am.
I am that I am. Okay.
I mean, at least that's my understanding. I'm not trying to debate the all the details, but it's basically whatever that you put after I am is your reality. You know, I could reduce people's pain by just claiming their name.
I see what you're saying.
Your state of coherence and your state of truth. Let's say, I've done this hundreds of times. Let's say an older woman that's already had lots of deaths in the family, and they don't even carry their own name, because they always say, my name is Mrs. blah, blah, instead of my name is. Just by giving water, salt, gratitude, claim their name, and then hold it in their heart. Most of the time, within less than 10 seconds, the pain will reduce 50%.
So just say your first name, like I am Alexia.
Alexia, like let's practice right now. Let's
Okay.
so you could actually feel the shift.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're married, right?
Yes.
Are you keeping is your last name your husband's name or your name?
No. Okay. Here's a story about that. A lot of people ask. His name is a long Lithuanian name that has a lot of I's and a lot of I, and it's an Itis kind of name. My name's Alexia. That's already a disorder. So my name would have sounded like a venereal disease disorder if I would have taken his name. And I wanted to clear some stuff up with my name. So I just kept Eisenhower, my maiden name, and then I got known for my name Eisenhower, but I was going to change it one name to his scary last.
Okay. Let's do a quick baseline.
But I say his wife. It's always Rick and Lex. It's always those two together. I'm like Ricky's wife.
In all what I do, my teaching is what I do, and what I do, you experience my teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just do this right now. Let's do a quick baseline.
Okay.
How are you feeling spiritually right now? Mentally, emotionally, in the body, and energetically?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Is there any discomfort? Is there any stiffness?
Whenever I'm detoxing, I start my period. So now all you guys know I am bloated, and that bloated, uncomfortable feeling.
Okay, so give it a number of this bloated, uncomfortable feeling. And where is the bloated, uncomfortable feeling?
I would say a 6.5 around the stomach area.
Around the stomach area. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any energetic sensation? Sometimes in the physical, but it's energetic. Tingly, pleasure, pain, stabbing, burning, dull, prickly.
Dull, prickly earlier, but I took my minerals and I think that kind of went away.
How about right now?
I feel good. I just feel bloated.
Okay, so it's 6.5. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now I need you to say, my name is full.
Okay.
Okay. And I need you to take a deep breath and hold gratitude and exhale. I need you to do that 3 times.
Okay. My name is Alexia Eisenhower.
Take a deep breath. Okay. Hold it and exhale. Make sure you have gratitude in your heart. The second time, I need you to say it with more conviction. My name is
Alexia Eisenhower.
Take a deep breath. That's a huge shift. Now I could feel it energetically. One more time.
I am Alexia Eisenhower.
Yes.
I would like to say I felt relief on my back, my lower back, which I didn't even feel before, but I felt it go away. When the pain goes away, you feel it, if that makes sense.
Isn't that because you already adapted? That's what part of the addiction, you adapt. But we'll talk about that. So you're humming right now. We did this in less than a minute.
Thank you.
So how much better are you feeling just claiming who you are? And
Good.
I am what I am.
The colors outside are more vibrant. I'm in front of a window, so everything just
Isn't that it? Well, just by that, that's just to show that reduced inflammation in your brain. That's huge.
That's awesome.
So, but as far as the bloat,
I'm trying to see the bloat. I think
went away, but you're just looking for it.
I know. No, I can feel I'm wearing a belt thing, and the belt was not comfortable, and now I can move it. So that obviously means something went down. Yeah.
So yes. So look how much you see that. So you're moving
yeah.
You could admit with that. That's how fast it is. Now imagine every time you're doing that with groups that actually enhance. You're creating an energy vortex, claiming something that's not real, but because you're claiming it as yours, it's become yours.
Yes.
That's how dangerous or potentially powerful it is. It could be dangerous, yes, it could be harmful, or it could be a miracle. It could be very positive. It could be life-changing, or possibly life-saving.
Exactly.
It's just up to you.
My favorite line is the old Star Wars. The medium Star Wars. They say only Siths deal in absolutes. And the biggest part of awakening is we're in a polar matrix. Humans can do horrible things. Humans can do wonderful things. Graphene oxide could do horrible things. Graphene oxide can do wonderful things. And it's like that for everything, because literally only Sith steal in absolutes. So that just reminded me to say that, like, not everything is good, not everything is bad. It could be how you intend it to be. So if you're affirming that you're an alcoholic every day, well, you're always going to be an alcoholic. Move on. If you're affirming and taking your own righteousness, yourself, what you want to be, and
Autonomy.
take it. Take
Independence, autonomy.
Hold yourself accountable for the things that are wrong in your life. Nowadays, it's just you hear people, and I get it. We all want to unload, we all want to unleash, but at the end of the day, when you're doing that, you're going, oh, I'm always so tired. Well, now you're always going to be so tired. Well, with that kind of attitude, you're going to be. And it's like, you want to, I'm just a fixer, I'm a Virgo. I'm like, okay, well, you can fix it this way, you can fix it this way. Like, just get rid of the bugs in you. And when people are like, no, I tried a bug cleanse and it made things worse. That's what I'm getting a lot now of, which, folks, please watch our biohacking video called Die Off Symptoms. That's what happens with any kind of detox, is the bugs start fighting back and your body becomes a war ground. So you do have to be in the right place of mind before even going into a detox, because these little buggers are going to talk to you.
There you go. And that's actually a very powerful spiritual teaching that I teach. In the middle of, in the midst of purging, in the midst of any kind of tests, tribulations, purging is big part of it, because you're going to purge emotions, old patterns, okay, old mental stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The way you process and respond, it is crucial, because if you're going to process as the old victim self and respond as the victim self, guess what? You relapse. Now, this is people talking like, what are you guys talking about? Addiction, and this has a lot. This is addiction. When you relapse, you're becoming the old addict. So that's what relapse is. It's an energetic field or energetic vortex that is lower grade than you were before.
Okay.
You know, it could be like a thing. It could be a person. It could be a friend. It could be an ex. It could be a family member that is toxic to you.
Yes.
You know?
I want to say that was perfect with the whole family members. Causing pain on somebody and listening. Okay, two different things. One, family members will they'll make you into something that we all are mirrors of each other. So families are so close that you're going to be the mirror of your best friend, whatever the case is. Sister, brother, mom, dad, whoever you're in the house with, you're their mirror. So they immediately are going to notice stuff that they hate about themselves in you, and they're going to blame it on you. You're the dirty one. You're the this. You're the fat one. You're the silly one. And we think that if you allow yourself to think like I am, this is going back to the I am addiction statements. You're addicted to being told who you are. Oh, you're slow.
Again,
oh, you're not funny.
claiming.
Oh, you're awkward. Yeah.
See, the I am, it's claiming. If you claim anything as yours, it's like when people projected their shitty reality, it's like throwing shit at you. You don't need to catch shit. You dodge it.
No.
You dodge it. You don't need to catch it, because if you catch it and claim it, oh, this shit is mine, it's become, that shit becoming your shit.
Yes. Same goes. And it's not just substances, it's people, it's places, it's towns,
Patterns,
it's jobs,
especially if it's like
patterns.
Lineage, right? Karmic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's, if you look at these addicts, a lot of them is generational.
It is.
Right? So, and that's what you have to undo. And a lot of them, it's, again, so when you're going back, what you say, so what is the cause of your addiction?
What is it?
It is your attachment to the internal trigger. You're addicted to the internal trigger first. So what is addiction? We all know addiction, it is a habit, ritual that is harmful, but you consciously continue doing it despite the negative consequences, despite the damage that you are doing to yourself and others. You are not in control in maintaining that positivity, not positive feeling, but positive results in what you need to do as a responsible adult. Now, unless you don't want to be a responsible adult that's productive and evolving and this and that, and you could just stay as a fucking addict the rest of your life and be a burden to everyone else, because you're becoming a poison. You are the parasite. But we're talking about parasite cleanse. Don't get mistaken. We were parasites at one time. We're all parasites to other people.
Mm-hmm.
I came from the dark side. I was very parasitic to other people's lives. But then once you start doing all the spiritual work, it is not something that you do once a day, once a month. You're becoming it.
Yep.
So once you transmuted your darkness, then you're becoming this light that is the anti-parasite. So what you used to be, parasite, it could be become anti-parasitic.
Hi.
Blessings.
Guess who's here?
Hey.
Handsome boy. All right, I'll do this. Sorry.
It's all good. That's cool.
No, thank you. And that reminds me, being parasitic goes into your relationships, and this can work both ways. The codependency happens in relationships, and you won't have a successful relationship until both are cleaning out your bugs, and
Yes.
you have to work together, because like Jeff said earlier, with parasite cleanses, ancestral trauma starts happening. So like you are healing stuff that might not even be your traumas. Like, yes, if you were raped, that'll come up. Yes, if you had a bad boyfriend, that'll come up. Yes, if you were abused, that'll come up. But like other stuff comes up too. And you just have to have someone there to hold space on. You're going to be mean to them, like, because it is like this internal fight between the bugs and you, and the person you love is in front of you. So you want them, but like the bug is pushing it away, and it's a crazy conflict. So have a good group of support of people that you want to be like, that you can go to when times get tough during these detox fits.
That's very important. So yes, addiction, it is caused by internal triggers, and then your attachment to that. So, and that because you have compromised areas in certain part of your psyche, whether it is spiritual, mental, emotional, and that compromised area, that what I do in my assessment. Mm-hmm. Even in, let's say, liver, let's say talk about alcoholic. Okay, so why liver? Right. Okay, well, anger attacks liver.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily the person could be angry person, which is typical, but it could be just suppressed anger. Suppressed anger could be an anger towards self, self-injurious behavior. Then you become addicted to pain.
Ooh, okay, so we are in a world, and we're talking about the basic drugs that like normal people have problems with, opioids, drinking, nicotine, but like we don't also like to think that the main drug is fear and is human loosh. And we all think of these vampires that, basically bought legal True Blood, which is adrenochrome on the black market, and that's what everything is coming to a head till. However, that same general, and you were saying it earlier, we were all parasites having a vampire entity. We've all been there. We've all been the vampire. We've all been the victim being vampired, and that's kind of how this works. If you've been bitten, hurt people. So knowing that making people feel bad, you're getting their loose, you are being a vampire, that is in and of itself being just a shitty person, I guess. You get something from it. So don't mistake that your actions being part of this stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So fear and pain. So a lot of times the internal stuff, let's say if someone's so addicted to fear, that will trigger worriness. They will trigger this, and then they get in a fearful mode. I see that a lot with older ladies, with my own grandma that came from the World War II, because they had no food for months and months. They got to dig out worms and eat worms and stuff like that.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, she
never healed from that trauma that she was.
Well, I remember it was just like the hoarding of the food, but they're all lessons into all that.
Yeah.
you know, and addicted to pain. I noticed with myself, once I cured and healed and transformed my addictions and my depression, and I was suicidal most of my life. Once I was able to heal all that, I caught myself triggering old pain, looking for old texts, looking for old breakup cards, or listening to breakup songs, looking for
Yes.
people that hurt me in the past so I could trigger anger. So I rather feel anger rather than depression and feeling of suicides, because when I feel angry, I feel more empowered.
Yes.
So I was addicted to pain. I was addicted to, and I was addicted to the anger. It just depends what I was trying to feed. This is why my teaching is so real, because I went through all of it. So in my teaching, you are what you feed.
Thank you. And with your teaching, can you please, how do people get a hold of you if they wish to do a one-on-one treatment for their addiction, be it
Just
anything?
Jeff Mamora at proton.mail, I believe.
Okay, I'll put it down here.
Yeah, you could reach out to me on Instagram, IndoJeff.
Okay.
You know, and Facebook, Jeff Mamora. I have a fan page, Jeff Mamora, but I have a personal page, Jeff Mamora. So
okay.
You are what you feed. Now, I caught myself because I was able to become the observer. So it's like, you're watching, like, why am I doing this? So I realized I was never addicted to, let's say, unavailable women, or, you know, or alcohol, or all this, you know, or, you know, caffeine. I couldn't function without 4 shots of espresso for 15 years in the morning. You know, I went home to sleep drunk every night before for almost 2 decades, and I had to wake up with 4 shots of espresso. My adrenals was beyond burnt.
Oh my gosh, so many people are doing.
You know, but I rebuilt all that very fast. No, so what happens when I'm observing myself? So when you becoming the observer, you're able to look at yourself. And I had thousands of hours of working with addicts, so I started applying it to me because I have less emotional charge. So I'm looking at myself like this, but then I caught myself. Why am I doing this? You know, I used to be in music. You know, I used to do a lot of live shows, and you know, I love blues, but I don't relate to blues the way I was in depressed and suicidal mode.
Yes,
It's
sorry.
a difference. Like I could appreciate it in a different way. But before, when my soul was weeping, listening to the fucking notes of this, because I was feeding my sadness. I was not enjoying, but I was feeding, because there is comfort in depression.
Yeah. My husband was just listening to his favorite bands when he was like 18, 19, 21, and we haven't listened to it in years, and it's like ska punk. So it's like happy music, but it's really sad. And he goes, oh my gosh, this was just happy music for depressed people. And he's like, I can't listen to it anymore. Like, it doesn't give me, like, he totally gets it after he removed the parasites. And it's like, yeah, it's just depressed. I even feel that with like some Christian music, it like makes you depressed. I'm like, there's programming everywhere. Literally everywhere.
So, but that's the thing. So once you, okay, so I was addicted to so these are like peeling the onions, right? Mm-hmm. So never really addicted to certain things outside. Now you start, you're addicted to the internal triggers, your own internal pain, so you start, and then you realize, but why? Then you realize there's a compromised areas. Then you could start seeing, mother issue, daddy issue, or is it trauma issue? Unresolved, and a lot of them is unresolved grief. And
I want to say a lot of people at this point that you're talking about right now, when they realize it's a mommy issue or daddy issue, a lot of people, I just want to say, go, oh my God, mom, how dare you? But they don't ever think mom was, especially the generations before us, they had to have kids by 20. Like, it was children raising children. So it's not a mommy issue, it's ancestral. Mommy got it from grandma, who got it from great grandma, who got it from a man who raped a 17-year-old or a 14-year-old child and married her. Like, if you go back in everyone's history, we all have like some 14-year-old grandma who had a kid. So like, this has been stirring for a long time, people. Don't take it personally. Don't get mad at your mom or dad. we
Well,
can
here's
heal
what
it for the family.
you need to flip the script,
Mhm.
saying, flip it and say, you know, I am humbled and honored. Guess what? We chose to be here. We chose our parents. We chose the lineage because this is exactly what we needed to go through in order for us to evolve.
Yes.
So healing addiction, it is part of the spiritual evolution. You cannot evolve without healing your addiction. So all these spiritual gurus that are still smoking weed and addicted to plant medicine, whatever the F plant medicine they're going to say, to me, this is my own opinion and my own findings. That is non-conducive.
Also, we were talking about, there's a lot of emotions. This is something I've noticed about marijuana. And me and my husband have always been in the mind frame, do not do it under 25 years old. Like, if you're going to do it, those years of puberty and the brain being able to function in social situations and all these different situations, it gets genuinely stunted from marijuana specifically. And marijuana is the one thing that everyone says, it's fine, take it. Like, don't worry, it's wonderful. And I have found brands that we'll talk about that do have positive influence, and it is using a cannabinoid, and that's wonderful. But just understand that most of the plants have been GMO'd, and it's nowhere near what it used to be. So,
but here's the thing: if you're going to talk about, you know, cannabinoids, this and that, there are other nootropics that doesn't have the stunted and, you know, suppressant of the typical cannabis,
and it doesn't have as much estrogen. The problem with cannabis is the estrogen that it is creating. So a lot of times people, and you're going through this detox and everything, and you need to work on self, and you're purging your feelings, and you have the opportunity to work through this feeling that you just found, this trigger that you just found. But if you're smoking weed that night, which I'm sure you are, because this is usually like a spiritual event that people do, you're going to have an uptick in a estrogen, and that is going to affect the way you deal.
you are
with
not
that.
coherent.
You're not coherent. And now you're going to be like a crying woman, man or woman smoking it. You're going to be like a crying woman over your pain that you feel. So then it is an addiction that adds to not healing the true symptoms.
You just continue, you're creating more bondage in your addiction because you're feeding it incoherently.
Yes.
So this is what I'm saying. Like, if you want to feed something in terms of healing, it needs to be more conducting of light. Let's say take more minerals, right?
Yes.
And nootropic that would actually lift your vibration.
Is that a cordyceps?
Cordyceps is good. Lion's mane is good. Silogid, you know, and it's a lot of, you know, like some kind, like certain high quality CBD could actually help as a, like, say, CBG, right? So they just go straight to the receptors. They don't go to the whole system of endocannabinoid system. They go to the receptors. That's why you get a quick result. So let's say you take CBG and
can you
cordyceps.
explain CBG while I go get it to everyone? Because I never heard of it.
CBG is basically a hemp plant that is rich in CBG. So it's not CBD, but it is part of the hemp plant. So it's a special species. So one of my friends able to have that very strong CBG content, high concentrated, and use that as the RSO of CBG, use it as the delivery system. And it's so wonderful because we use it as an antibacterial. It kills MRSA viruses. It's a very good detailing, cleaning type in the whole nervous system. So that's a potent medicine. You get what I'm saying? So why would I okay, so that's in the hemp family, right? Yeah. But look at, you cannot compare that and taking cannabis. Even though if you look at the plant, look at the same. This is what I'm saying. It's very different compound. And people get lost in the effect and the expectations. Oh, I want to just get high. So that doesn't mean that you're healing just because you want to get high.
They
You
want
want to
to
heal
numb the
addiction.
feelings.
You want to
Yes.
purge. You need to be coherent. See, we're trying to heal out of addiction that most people could not really heal throughout lifetimes. You know how fast I transform addicts, lifelong addicts? One session that transforms.
Really?
One. But that doesn't mean the battles is over. But they transform, stop everything. They transform because they realize it's the disease of the soul. So they start cleansing and grounding and doing this very specific protocol not to feed the internal triggers. That's it.
I see.
Now, you can't do that if you're not coherent, because the whole idea is what you need to be in alignment.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what part of you processing this experience now.
Yes.
Now, how do you going to know that you are in the new transformed self aspect of yourself that's at processing if your ass is drunk or high?
Mm-hmm.
You can't. Because when you cleansing and grounding, and when you're doing all this parasite cleanse and your new self emerging, your purer part of you is purer. What would you put toxic compound? And you go back to the old self. So there's so many layers of us, and it's dynamically it's coming. So it depends which part of you going to continue feeding, and it's going to be stronger there. And so you stop relapsing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say grief.
Yes.
I have a specific teaching of grieving the old self, because when you're having such a very fast spiritual growth, you have to grieve your old self because it's part of
Closure.
you. Yeah. Closure is not what people think it is. Just allowing yourself to actually to grieve, it's already closure. You don't necessarily, because the mind, that's what, I need weed to feel better. I need that to feel better. I need closure in order for me to get over certain things. No, you don't. The true closure is just for you, just to commit for you to do better. Because if we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, once you know, you need to do better. But the thing is, like, you start making excuses, rationalizing mistakes, that's when you relapse, and you relapse.
Yeah.
I just call it looping.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't be a Fruity Loop.
True. I love it. Also, I just want to speak on resonance, and we are talking about, there is going to be a brand. We're going to do a materials of things that we use, tools and readily available items. So it's kind of like a part 2 episode. Join us over there. We're going to start talking about it now. We're going to cover items that will help you transition in your addiction and will help you go through the purging process as easily as possible. So if you watch this video, please take a second and watch our next video, which is going to be a part B for this full moon. We're going to cover some hemp products that Jeff and I do use, and resonance is a big part of this, because I know a lot of people are going to, the comments is going to fill up with, what about this hemp product? What about this hemp product? And another thing you have to realize, I have a face oil that I love. I only use this one bio oil, but I buy it on Amazon, and I don't know if they're like warehouse storing it, but I bought it from Amazon instead of my own little home grocer with natural store, and it doesn't work. Like it sits on my skin. It's not good, but it was also held at the Amazon warehouse. So I've heard like the theories that if you have CBD that's being housed with like low vibrational in a CBD store that you see like next to a shopping mall, it's going to be low vibrational products, and it's going to distort the entire product in itself. So I would not go into a dispensary or a CBD store, or I've seen CBD sold at gas stations next to the cigarettes. No, this is going to be the resonance of the frequency, everything that it's being stored with.
Yeah, that's very true. Let's say my friend Joanne from Sunstar, she paid a lot of money to get her whole storage area energetically remediated. She has a very high-end devices. You know, she has professional just to tune the resonance.
And you
I
think
mean-
it sounds silly, but Boeing and these aerotech designers, they all use RF paint. They know that you have to set it, which is basically shungite paint. They know you have to set your property well so it's not spied on, so it's not electrically charged wrong. So you bet that these people who have healing products, they have to do the same thing to their energy field in their stores, in their warehouses. So, and it's not many people know how to do it correctly, like at all. Some of the darkest places I've ever felt were like intuitive crystal shops. And it's like, you guys know that you're not clean here, because that place, a lot of people went to purge. And is that
they
purging
don't
being
get cleared out all the
cleared
time.
out? No, no.
Yeah, I mean, that's common, you know. That's why I have
Yes.
my own teaching of spiritual cleansing ground, and it's best to me is the best, most effective way,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
you're the one that's doing it. You're dissolving energies with your own alignment and your own breath.
Mhm.
If you're listening to my instruction, I'm just like amplifying your light. You know, it's not imaginary, it's not a vision thing, it's you actually doing it. The first time you do my spiritual cleansing ground, remember?
It was, I love going out there barefooted and doing the planting of the feet. And it's just, you don't need a grounding mat. You really don't. With the water, salt, gratitude, followed by the cleansing ground. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's you know, we could do a separate talk about that, because I have different levels of that.
Maybe we'll
That
meet up for
cleansing
the
and
new
grounding
moon.
technique helps a lot of addictions, because a lot of addiction is based on energetic dependency.
All right,
So-
we're gonna have that video up within a week
Okay.
or 10 days. We'll reconvene for that.
In a world that fears a supply chain crisis, it's good to have a friend for small businesses and shippers. Whether it's 1 to 10 pallets or a full climate-controlled van load, 888 Brokerage is eager and willing to assist you in your logistical needs. Contact us today for a rate quote to get started.
What we're
So
gonna say,
goodbye. If you're just joining us for the addiction video, goodbye. Join us on the next video. That can go for many people. This will cover addiction. This will cover just normal detox. This will cover a normal full moon cleanse. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.